Hello and welcome to your course Cultural Competence Demystifier. If you're here, it's probably that you think you can do better with cultural competence. And we can all do, definitely. And I can tell you here that you are at the right place. So, welcome, and without further ado, let's look in this first module what are the main benefits of becoming more culturally competent. So the first benefit is that by being culturally competent, you will understand yourself better because you will become aware of exactly what culture is and how your own culture impacts your communication and your behaviors. And so you will understand why you communicate and behave the way you do. And part of that is actually that you will understand your biases and assumptions. Of course we all have. Of course we do. Assumptions are what makes our thinking easier. We need to have some rules to make sense of our environment. Except that these rules are not always the correct one, and usually they work in your own culture, in your own environment. But these rules usually do not apply anymore into a new environment, a new culture. And so a benefit here of becoming culturally competent is that you are aware of these assumptions and you can assess when these assumptions are not helping you any longer. And we all have biases. That's kind of normal, if I can say. But again, becoming culturally competent will help you being aware, understanding these biases, and basically put them aside, understand them and put them aside when they are not funded. And finally, if you understand yourself and how your own culture impacts you, you will be able to understand how you react when you're in a situation of cultural differences and how you can react better. So this is the first benefit. It's all about understanding yourself, your culture, and how it impacts you. The second benefit shown here is that becoming culturally competent will help you understand others better. Because what is happening probably a lot of the time and for a lot of us when we interact with people from a different cultural background? Well, we feel confused, maybe inadequate, lost, angry, even maybe because we can't make sense of the situation. And usually because there's a mismatch in communication and in expectations, we are not getting the results we want. And that if you understand others better, then you can understand their expectations and meet these expectations. And then really make sure that you all work together really as a team and fulfilling everybody's expectations. But then to understand others better, your understanding really needs to be genuine. And this will show when you interact with people and just try to have a superficial understanding, asking one or two questions, if any, but you're not really genuine in learning about others. It will show. So to become culturally competent, you will need to have a really genuine understanding, a genuine motivation to learn about other people. And once you do that, you will be able to interact with them much better. And obviously, a benefit of understanding others is that you will be able to get on the same wavelengths. And so these misunderstanding, mismatch, misconceptions, and whatever that can occur when you don't understand others, these will be greatly reduced, and their occurrence will be greatly reduced too. So benefit to understand others better when you become culturally competent. The next benefit is that when you become culturally competent, you become a better leader. And we all lead some people. Yes, we may have the job title manager, and we may lead officially some people, but we all lead some people. And becoming a better leader is something extremely important. But there's not one recipe. There's not one thing to do and you're a better leader. Because you need to understand really the others. Remember our previous benefit? And if you don't do that, you cannot become a better leader. Because to be a better leader, you need to understand what motivates people. And different people will be motivated by different things. That if you use the same kind of motivation for everybody, it's not going to work. They are not going to follow you. Again, you need to understand their strengths and their abilities. And then you need to match that with whatever task these people will need to achieve. And between giving them tasks that play to their strengths and that motivate them, you will get much better results. And people will really feel that you are a good leader. And what it means, because as we've mentioned, people don't expect the same things from their leaders. And you cannot expect the same thing from everybody. Becoming culturally competent will allow you to adapt your leadership style to the different people you interact with. Because there is not one leadership style. One style will work with some people in some environments, but not in others. And when you go into that different environment with different people, you need to be able to adapt your leadership style. And this is what cultural competence will bring you. Now, let's see the next benefit. Is that if you are culturally competent, you will become more confident because you know that you will be able to adapt to situations and to people. So you will get into interactions without fear of not getting what you need, what you want, of maybe thinking that you are awkward in a situation. This will disappear when you become culturally competent. Which means that you can approach each interaction positively, in a positive way, because you know that you will have the ability to make it productive. And how will you have this ability? Because you will be able to adapt your behaviors and your communication to different people when you become culturally competent. And so all that will add to your confidence. Your confidence will be boosted, and that will have benefits, actually, and increase the other benefits that we've seen. Oh, we all want positive relationships, don't we? Yes, of course, we do. Most of us just don't like to have to argue with people, to come out of an interaction with the feeling that I haven't understood what's going on, I haven't understood the reaction of the people. And being culturally competent will help you create these positive relationships. because being culturally competent will increase your curiosity in other people. So you will be able to genuinely show interest in others, interest and curiosity, really wanted to learn about others. And what does will do? What will that do for you? Well, two things. It will make other people feel understood, really, because you will be genuine about learning about them. And definitely, yes, you will endeavor to understand them as much as you can. And without cultural competence, you cannot do that. And let me tell you that when somebody feels understood, it's a whole new world in terms of your relationship with this peer person that opens up for you and the other person. And it's also reciprocated, that if you are culturally competent, you will be understood, because as we've seen in the previous benefit, you will be able to adapt your behavior, your communication. And so the other person will really feel and will really understand you. So basically, it's a two-way. And it's not only that by you being culturally competent, you will understand people better and they will feel understood better, but you will be yourself understood better, which will create a lot more positivity in your relationships. Okay, a few more benefits. Yes, of course, better job performance. If you are culturally competent and that you can interact with people from different cultural background efficiently, you will get the results you want, you need to achieve in your team. And let's face it, the world hasn't become more diverse. Diversity has always been there. But what has increased is our individual exposure to this diversity. We are much more likely to interact with people from different cultural backgrounds because people have been moving around a lot more. Maybe you're one of them, that you've been going to different places, different countries. And also with the development of the internet, we can also be more and more exposed to cultural diversity. And so basically, I would say probably whatever your job, you will need to interact with people from diverse cultural backgrounds. And so if you're not culturally competent, you will not get the results you want from others, from yourself. And if you are culturally competent, you will be able to bring the best out of these different people that you need to interact with. And you will also be able to see the world from different perspectives. And this will allow you to design better solutions to achieve what you need to achieve in your work and also in your personal life. It can be extended, of course, to your personal life. Because suddenly you have these different opportunities that you didn't know about before, you hadn't realized before you were culturally competent. And so obviously, when you allow yourself and everybody to get on much better, much more efficiently with the work at hand, there's a lot less lost time. You achieve things more efficiently. You are more productive. And your performance and the performance of your team and the people you interact with will increase once cultural competency is mastered. And finally, the last benefit. And this is a benefit at the level of the organization. and not just at a personal level, is that if an organization becomes more culturally competent, that is, obviously, its member, its staff become more culturally competent, then yes, you reach a better teamwork, because people, members of a team, they understand each other much better, and they can use each other's strengths much better to achieve what the team needs to achieve. And then if the people in the organization are culturally competent, imagine how this will make the relationships with your potential customers and your existing customers, who will be quite diverse. How this will increase and make these relationships much better, because the people in your organization who interact with your customers will understand them much better and meet their expectations much better. So you will have more and more satisfied customers. And also, it's not just about customers, but in an organization, you need to interact with many different people. Your suppliers, your partners, your collaborators, and the list is quite long. So imagine this heightened cultural competence becoming in use with all these different people, not just the customers that you have to interact with, and how this will make all these interactions much better and will allow the organization as a whole to perform a lot better. So these are some of the benefits that you gain when you as an individual and your organization as an entity becomes culturally competent. So now, if you haven't done so, please do download the workbook, and you will find the handouts with the slides from this module and the next two modules, and also some exercises. So go to download the workbook, do the exercises associated with this module 1, and then I'll see you in module 2, explaining the biggest mistakes that we all do at some point concerning cultural competence and how you can avoid them by becoming more culturally competent. So see you in module 2 after you've done the module 1 exercises.